A long time ago, my mum gave me a book because she thought I might find it interesting and helpful, and indeed it's turned out to be both. It's called The Book of Good Housekeeping, and it was first published in 1944 for the very good reason that the previous few years for everyone in Britain had been very, very disruptive because of the war. Most young people had to do some form of war service, either in the armed services or in other branches. And it meant that they were really institutionalised. They'd lived in places that they hadn't had to take responsibility for. They'd been fed, clothed, housed, and they hadn't had any choice. So the really formative years of their young adulthood, from the ages of 18 sometimes upwards, had been spent in very different circumstances from the ones that they would have really wanted them to spend. And this book is really a guide to making a home. And it says this book is concerned with the standards of homemaking. Thousands of young people have left or will soon be leaving the services and setting up their homes. And these pages have been written in an effort to help them. We do not attempt to conceal the fact that the next year or two may still be a period of shortage and improvisation in homemaking. Well, that was an understatement, because in fact austerity of the post-war years lasted well into the 50s. But it goes on to say, but shortages can be treated with patience and improvisation, with zest, and we hope we can show you how. In the foreword to the book, it actually mentions that the book was finished during a bombing on London, in which a number of the writers who made contributions lost their homes, and it says had to apply emergency measures far beyond the bounds of happy theory. But in spite of strain and fatigue, broken homes and disjointed lives, they finished the job. And what a job it is. It covers just about everything, including how to cook corn on the cob, to visitors and trespassers, to kitchen cleanliness, your cook and you, that's if you're lucky enough to have one, schedules for households of different sizes, the dog owner's highway code, and much, much more. But it opens with an important chapter called Choosing a Home. And it says that to choose a home, whether it is a flat, a house, a bungalow, a caravan, or a boat, which really suits your habits and tastes, in a place where your neighbours will have similar interests and will be the sort of people you want to have as friends. And makes the point that, don't forget though, that if you want good neighbours, you must first be a good neighbour yourself. So knowing the sort of person you are is fundamental to choosing the right sort of home for you. Knowledge is really important, and I guess over the past few months we've all had time to think about our lives, think about what we do, how we do it, and wonder whether there are changes that we'd like to make or we should be making. And that's given us information too. There's also the fact that we're not on our own, that we are in the context of a loving God, a loving creator God. And one of the psalms that's written to address, if you like, real trouble, real anxiety, real uncertainty is Psalm 46. And it begins, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. And it goes on to say, towards the end of the psalm, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. So these times have also given us an opportunity to be still, to think, to pray, and to know that there is a God who is there, a God who holds us, and a God who loves us.